Hi everyone. I wasn't going to film this, but what I'm doing is an Icad because I couldn't wait to use this new tie-dye napkin I found yesterday. I found it in the party section of Walmart. They have a complete line with the tie-dye theme for birthday parties. Anyway, it's a simple project, but I remember there are some people that are new to crafting, and I wanted to show you how you can apply a napkin to a surface. In this case, it's an index card, without getting it all, with the least wrinkles or tears on it. So what I did was I applied some Mod Podge, and then I very gently put the tissue on it. First, you have to remove the layer. This one only had one layer, I believe. Some of them have 2 or 3, including the decorated one. So you remove, and you only leave the layer with the print on it. I laid it down very gently, and I used this squeegee. This one is from Mod Podge, but you can use a credit card also, or any card. Just gently, do not, don't push on it. Just gently smooth it out as much as you can without tearing it. As you can see, it's mostly smoothed out. Then you wait till it dries, or you can dry it up with the heat gun. Just dry it up. When you dry it with the heat gun, when it dries, it seems to flatten out even more. That's what I've noticed. So if it curls up, you just turn it over. See how it wants to curl up? That's because the heat is causing the glue to dry, and it's cooling on the paper. So you just turn it over. And it will flatten down again. So that's already dry. See, it's completely flat. There's no wrinkles on it. And it's nice and flat. Some of the corners aren't glued down, but you can take care of that later. So I'm just going to cut the excess. Because I've heard some people complain that their napkins tear when they use them. If you were going to apply Mod Podge over the napkin, I would recommend drying it first, because it would make it too wet, and if you handle it too much, that's when it tears. You have to, handle it as least as possible. A lot of people complain that their napkins tear. So this piece, I can save it for a little project, or like when you cut it out for a collage. But that's how it looks. Nice. The theme for this Icad, this is for the International Crafters Group, is friendship. So if I want it, but I'm not going to put Mod Podge over it just yet. I'm going to wait till I glue everything down. The theme is friendship. I thought I had a quote, but I found this: forever and always, and then I'm going to add the word friends here. I'm going to see if I have a 2-inch circle here. I'm going to see if I can cut it out completely. No. Well, maybe if because I wouldn't like the way it looks square. I'm going to cut a little piece of this off so I can fit it in the circle. Yeah, so there I can get the words right there. And it wouldn't be a square. So I could put this here, forever and always, at the word friends. We were supposed to use stuff we have from racks and leftovers. This I got in a swap from, I think it was Vicky Fortier. I have these little flowers here that I got from Barbara Gillespie, I believe. It was either Barbara or Susan Bush. So I'm going to put this nice birdhouse here. I'm going to use Mod Podge for that. Yeah, sometimes we forget that there are people that are just starting out in crafting and they have a lot of doubts and questions, just like we did when we started. I was lucky we had programs on TV by Eileen's. She had, she taught us how to Mod Podge napkins and all that. This thing is, it's kind of too white for my taste. I'm just gonna do the borders. Just use a makeup sponge and to, put some ink on the borders. That brings it out. And I'll probably try to, see, that brings it out. I could have inked the little house, but I forgot. Take a sip of my coffee. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get a spray. This is what color is this? Blossom. It's like a red. I'm just going to spray this a little bit, see how it looks. Just a little tiny bit. It really soaked it in a lot. See, now it doesn't look so white. You can make inks from alcohol ink markers, from food color, with water, or with alcohol. Again, for the newbies, you can use a 70% rubbing alcohol and use markers. There are videos on how to make ink with markers and food color, so you can spray your projects. And I think in our group, International Crafters, someone has a video on how to make them. So here I have to decide what color. There are 3 little flowers in here. Cute. They're 3-dimensional. Don't know if I want to use all of them. Let me stop a second here. Okay, there was too much noise in the background. Some people were outside talking. So I chose this flower. I'm going to glue, like I said, I sprayed this and I added the words friends with a marker, because that was the theme we had. So I'm going to glue this. Oops. I'm going to glue it right here. I don't want to take, cover too much of the color. That's a quick way to have a nice background with lots of color in it, with a nice napkin. And I have my glue gun on. Don't want to put this here because it's too close together. They recommend that you use things in groups of 3 uneven numbers because it's more pleasing to the eye. I'm saying all this for the newbies because I know, but like I said, we have to remember there are people that are just beginning to craft and they don't know the basics. So I'm going to put that flower there. And I'm going to ink the edges. We always ink the edges because it creates a frame to your work. It frames it in. You can use, I'm using vintage photo because that's what I have right at hand on my desk. Black would look nice. You can use black ink, or you can paint. If you don't have the ink, you can paint a line with a marker or a brush using your paints, acrylic paints. So there's my Icad. You can scribble on this now, or you could go over some, like doodle and stuff. This house here, I notice you can hardly see it. So I'm going to go around it with this pen. This is a glitter pen. A gel pen. You'll see in a minute the difference this makes. You could hardly see it before. It was buried in the background. But now with the pen, here it is. It brings it out. And here's a little corner that came up. Oh, and I said about that if you want to go over this with Mod Podge, either matte or gloss, you can do that. Cut a little piece here. So if I want to protect this, I would go over it very... First I'll make sure that ink is dry. So it doesn't smear. Very gently go over it. You don't have to apply any pressure whatsoever, just gently go over it. You see the napkin wants to wrinkle right away. So you just want to protect this. See, it's wrinkling right there. If I keep handling it there, it's going to... I'm going to dry it. Let me pause while I dry it. So here's the Icad. It's dry. Those little wrinkles that wanted to come out flattened a little. It's completely dry. and it's protected with the Mod Podge. Like I said, it's a matte. You can use gloss if you like. So this is my friendship Icad. I hope you like it, and I hope you learned something, and that you try it. Thanks for watching. Bye.